Good evening and welcome back to the Metro Detroit Poker Series, the start of our 2021-2022 season, the Fall Poker Open. I'm your host, Terry Prince, and besides me, I have two-time champion, 22-time final tableist, Joel Asuncion.
Hey, how's it going, Terry?
Hey, good. How you doing, Joel?
Oh, not bad.
This is our 18th season in the Metro Detroit Poker Series. We'll have a full season this year of 9 regular season events plus our Tournament of Champions. All those that cash in the regular season events qualify for the Tournament of Champions, and this is our first one for those qualifiers. So we're going to get right to the final table action here. Seat number 1 is two-time Tournament of Champions winner Corey McCumsey. Seat 2, Jeremy Alexander. Seat number 3 is 4-time champion Gary Gultieri.
I was wondering how you say that.
Seat number 4, 6-time MDPS champion Dwayne Carr. Seat number 5, one-time champion Istvan Rosa. Seat number 6, MDPS newcomer at her first tournament, Julie Carrico. Seat number 7, one-time champion Josh Saputo. Seat number 8 is Carrie Whitman. Seat number 9 is Larry Phillips. And seat number 10 is also a MDPS newcomer, Connor Williamson. We're going to pay the top 8 players today. So we got 2 left to go till the money. We're going to get right to the action. This is the very first hand of the final table. Seat number 1 is the dealer. That's Corey. We have Jeremy and Gary in the blinds. Dwayne will be first to act. He looks down at King 8 of spades. Dwayne's capable of playing any 2 cards.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely considering this hand. He's capable of playing that. And he does make the call. The call's a little bit unusual from this spot. He's right under the gun. There's arguments to be made to fold or raise there. He likes to call.
Josh looks down at pocket 5s and makes the call as well. Connor folds in the cutoff spot. Corey in the in the button looks down at Jack 3 suited. He's thinking about this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually this would be a pretty automatic fold for most players, but Corey is on the button. He's got a hand that has some speculative value. Sure,
and there are 2 people already in the pot, and you got to expect the blinds are both going to come along, and they do. So we got a 5-hand action here. Every hand has a possibility. We look down at a King, Queen, Jack rainbow flop. Everybody got a piece of this except for Josh and Jeremy.
Yeah, this is a pretty dangerous flop. Anybody, they were all limpers, so anybody could have any piece of this.
Jeremy actually is in better shape than he thinks with not having any piece of this because he has straight draw. The blinds both check. Dwayne comes out with a 5,000 chip bet. He does have the best hand here going in with the kings.
I'd imagine if he meets any kind of resistance or someone playing back, he's going to really have to think about folding.
I don't think he's going to get much resistance.
No. It worked out for him this time, I think, unless someone decides to make a play.
Yeah. Corey with the jack and Gary with the queen both had some of that flop, but neither of them bit. They all fold, and Dwayne takes down the first hand of the final table. This is now the third hand of the final table. We have Gary on the button. Julie's going to be first to act. She looks down at King 6 of hearts and folds that. Now, in contrast to what Dwayne just had, she folds that King 6 under the gun. Josh looking down at pocket 5s again, second time in 3 hands.
Yeah, and I think that's a reasonable open. But he does have to be careful about his stack size.
He raises this time instead of just flat calls like he did the last time. So he raises the 4,800 chips.
It's about a standard raise.
Carrie looks down at a queen and something. She didn't show her whole hand to the camera. And she's contemplating calling here or doing something else.
I would guess somewhere between a 9 and a king, her other card.
She does make the call. Larry folds with king 9 suited. Connor quickly puts his jack rag into the muck, as does Corey. Jeremy and Gary both fold quickly. Dwayne looks down at good buddy 10-4 and folds that. This fun. 9-10 suited. Suited connectors here.
I think he's in the blind there, so he gets a bit of a discount.
Yep, he's a big blind, so this is only like a 2 times raise here.
He's closing the action, so I think he'll make this call.
2 players in, so he's getting like 5-1 on his money here.
And the 9-10 suited can flop a lot of strong hands.
He does make the call. We got a 15,000 chip pot going to the flop. King 8 is our flop. 2 diamonds. And unless Carrie has a king, nobody got any of that.
And Josh was a pre-flop raiser. I'm surprised he didn't continuation bet here on a pretty dry board. Although either player could have a king, but it's not likely.
Carrie raises out with a 6,000 chip bet. Being the last to act now, and essentially the button position.
Ish throws away his hand wisely.
Yep, sure, he's got nothing there but a double gutter, basically. He needs a runner for a straight.
Now Josh doesn't know it, but Larry folded that king, so it's unlikely Carrie has a king here.
Yep, but we're all speculating here.
True.
She could have the case king, or she's flat out of bluffing here, but she represented it well, and Josh does fold, and Carrie takes down this 21,000 chip pot.
It was kind of a tough spot for Josh, because he, if he calls there, what's he going to do on the turn? Is he going to check call, and all of a sudden his stack is gone? So I don't mind that fold there.
No,
look for a better spot.
Only one card, the king, that really mattered, but obviously pocket 5s, you're drawn to 2 outs if she does have that case king. So yeah, it's a good fold there. Here we go now. Dwayne's on the button. Everybody folds to him, and it's going to be a battle of the blinds. Ish looks down at ace 4 offsuit in the small blind.
I think this is a spot where most players would raise with an ace against just the blind.
He just limps, and it's probably a good thing. Julie's looking down at 2 black 10s.
Absolutely.
She raises 5,000 chips on top, and Ish quickly calls.
Yeah, I think it's worth a call there. He's already had some money invested. The raise wasn't that large. I think it was a 2.5x raise. So I think that's a reasonable call with an ace.
You got to be afraid of his kicker, though.
Yeah, I mean, heads up, I think you've got to play an ace there. See what the flop brings.
Flop is all low cards.
Boy, there's a
checks, and Julie quickly shoves. Gotta figure Ish folds, and he does. Julie takes down the almost 15,000 chip pot.
Yeah, I don't mind the limp there, I guess, with the ace. As long as you're mixing it up, sometimes raising, sometimes calling.
On to our next hand here. Connor first to act. Folds 10-3. Corey looks down at pocket 4s. See, quite a few pocket pairs in this early final table so far.
And Jeremy's putting a stare on.
He's looking right at the camera. Look at me. Hey, Mom, I'm on TV.
Thought he was trying to get a read on one of his opponents, but Corey's going to open it here.
Yep, 5,200 chip bet. Jeremy folds. Gary folds. Dwayne, Ish fold. Julie now looking down at ace jack suited. Calls.
All right, this could be, she could put in a 3-bet here, depending on her stack size. But I think a call in position is a good play.
Now it's down to our 2 blinds. Carrie at 5-7 of hearts. Can't imagine going to play that. She doesn't. Folds that. Larry looks down at jack 7. Suited, he's on a real short stack. And goes all in for less.
Yeah, he barely had more than a blind there, so I don't mind him calling. It's a reasonable hand, 3 ways.
Yep, suited. Got figures he probably got 2 live cards. He really doesn't. He's only got 1, but definitely reasonable to call there on his low stack. So we're sorting out the side pot here, and then we're going to see a flop.
It's a pretty small side pot, so that shouldn't factor much into the action.
Looks like a jack right on the window.
Oh, little tease for Larry.
Yep. So he's got a thinking he's probably pretty good here, but his kicker is going to give him serious problems. Nobody's got clubs, so the flush draw is not an issue here. But of course, most of the players don't know that.
Corey checked it over to Julie, who's gone all in.
Julie thought about this for a bit and then shoved, and Corey went into the tank. We cut out almost 2 minutes of video waiting for the two of them to make a decision on this. And Corey really went into the tank when she shoved, and I'm not sure why with pocket fours.
That's a little surprising to me, especially with a player that's already all in, that she can't be bluffing out of the pot. And the side pot isn't even as large as the main pot, so you think this would be a pretty easy fold, but maybe he thinks he's picked up something on Jewel and puts her on a bluff.
He does ultimately fold it. I would have thought that would have been an easy fold. But, he might have picked up something. But now they're going to flip over their cards. Larry's going to see that his momentary joy turns into sorrow when he's looking down at an ace kicker versus his 7, and he's drawing basically
good
with
at a
7
here.
Yep, now he picked up some outs, but the ace is just icing on the cake, insult to injury, puts Larry out in 10th place. He did pick up one bounty during the tournament, so he gets a $20 rebate.
Little cancellation prize.
Yeah. So that hand went into break, so now we're out of break, and we took off all the 100 chips. We're now at 500 is our lowest chip in play.
How many places get paid here, Terry?
The top 8 get paid today.
8. Okay, so it's we're down to 9 now.
Yep,
we're on the bubble. Okay.
Jeremy and Gary fold. Dwayne looks down at Queen 10 suited. I imagine he's going to play that.
I'd say that's good enough for an open here. Dwayne likes to play a lot of hands. That makes him fairly tough to play against post flop because you can never put him on a specific range.
That is true. He just calls here.
That's another unusual play. He likes to do a lot of calling pre-flop.
But he is pretty aggressive. He's not always going to be. He's not going to be a calling station. He'll play and raise, and he has quite a range. Julie looks down another pocket 8s this time, and raises up to 8,000 chips. And Connor looks down at ace king.
The youngster here, this is his first season, in his first season event here.
He goes all in for 9,500. It's just a slight raise over top. Doesn't reopen the betting for Julie, but of course Dwayne still has action.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough call for him. He doesn't have a whole lot invested. It might have been better that he actually limped there because he would have got raised at least by Connor at that point.
Yeah, easy to get away from this here if he chooses to.
And Julie, I think, is going to have a pretty trivial call.
Well, yeah, 1,500 chips.
So,
I think that qualifies as a no-brainer.
So we'll, unless Dwayne decides to tangle in the mix here, we're probably going to have a coin flip. He is thinking about it.
He is. He's still considering this.
I know he hates to fold. Especially when he's got a reasonable hand.
And both these players are new to the MDPS, so he doesn't have a good read on either one. He does finally fold, and Julie makes the inconsequential call, 1,500, and you do have the coin flip. It's 5,149. Going to the flop now. 6, 9, king, 2 clubs. Another 6. Julie's drawn to that single 8 that's left.
That's going to do it.
Yep. If he ends up, Connor ends up hitting a full house on the river. Pretty much takes down that pot. That's nearly a triple up for Connor. And Connor now on the button here. This is completing the first orbit at the final table. Gary looks down at ace 10 offsuit.
It's probably a reasonable hand to open here.
I would think. And he's short stacked also and shoves it all in for 6,500 chips.
I'm still having nightmares about the last ace-10 I played in the last tournament, running into ace-king on an ace-high flop.
Yeah, that's not a good situation to be in. Dwayne looks down at king 8 and folds that. Got another king there, king deuce, into the muck.
Gary's made essentially a min bet here.
Yeah, it's only 1,500 and 3,000 blinds, so he barely had enough for a full raise. Carrie now here with pocket fours. Lots of pocket pairs in this first orbit. She makes the call.
She just calls. I'm surprised she wouldn't re-raise here to try and isolate the field against the all-in player.
Corey now in the small blind looks down at ace-5 of diamonds.
And this could be a problem if Corey decides to call.
Well, I mean, he's got getting 2-1 on his money.
Oh, no, I don't mean for Corey. Oh, I'm surprised he folded there.
He did. And look at that. Jeremy's got a 4, and he's folding that with his jack. So Carrie's looking at a case 4 if Gary hits anything here.
Oh,
He does pick up an ace on the flop. And the 8 kills it. She's drawing dead. Actually, both 4s were in the muck.
And Gary lives to fight another day. A chip in the chair, as they say, Terry.
Yep, he just doubles up. Oh, look at that. Dwayne wakes up with pocket aces.
I wonder if he'll limp with it like he's been limping his other hands.
Nope.
He does make the raise.
It's a min raise, but he makes a raise nonetheless. Jack 10 for Ish. Now he's got to think about it. That min raise is going to throw some people off.
Good.
Ish folds.
Although, if he's limping most of his hands and then you see a raise from him, that might ring some bells, alarm bells for people.
It is early, though. It's only the 10th hand of the final table. So.
True.
Julie calls with pocket 7s. This could be ugly.
I think that's a reasonable call.
Sure, but this could be ugly. I can't imagine a 6-5 call here. No. Connor with 6 deuce. Into the muck it goes. Ace 4 for Corey. That's the second time he's looked down at that hand. Oh, no, he had ace 5 last time.
And Dwayne's got to be thinking, how can I extract max value from my opponent here?
Well, here we go. Aces against 7s.
Oh,
No.
and a 7 in the window.
Right in the window, and she flops a full house.
Oh, they
Wow.
go check, check. I think I might have liked to see a bet from Dwayne there. Try and build some kind of pot.
So he's drawing dead to a single ace.
That's really bad luck for him.
Yep. He's not going to put her on a full house. He's not going to put her on those 7s. I can't imagine any hand that he's going to be able to put her on.
Probably thinking she has a medium pair, but not the one on the board.
Right, because he makes the bet out for 5,000. She comes over the top all in, and he insta calls, and now he's looking at the bad news.
Whoa. That's a tough one.
Yeah, you know what they say about aces: you win a small pot or lose a big one. And this looks like it's going to lose a big one. The case ace does not come on the river. Julie takes down a 37,000 chip pot and puts Dwayne out on the bubble.
Whoa, that's tough.
I did pick up 5 bounties.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Nope, so he got his buy-in back and made a couple of bucks. So
Well, that's got to sting, though, having aces and going out like that.
I know it would sting for me.
But Julie's got to be feeling pretty good. That was a good pot for her.
All right, Carrie looks down at king 8 of hearts, and she makes the call.
That's a little bit of a strange play.
Well, Dwayne made that call on the first hand with king 8 of spades.
True.
So,
True.
oh, here we are with American Airlines again. Corey looks down at 2 red aces this time.
Oh boy, it's trouble for Carrie.
Yeah, her heart draw could even be bad in this case.
Right. Well, I think I would have preferred a shove there. I think her stack is down to 7 or 8 blinds. I think that's really more of a fold or shove play.
He does. Corey makes an interesting raise here. It's only 4,000 chip raise. Blinds are 1,500 and 3,000, and he just makes it a 4,000 chip raise. So that's kind of a small raise too.
Right. Well, he wants some action with this hand for sure. Trying to get Carrie to come along.
And she does. So Corey is in good shape here. And Carrie does pick up the king and a flush draw.
That is about the best flop she could hope for. And she's almost 50-50 against those aces.
And she goes all in. So it'll be interesting now what Corey's going to do here.
Ooh,
Does still have the best hand, but this is going to be tough.
That's a tough spot after she's moved in. She could have Jack 10. She could have any 2 pair on the board there.
He does make the call, but yeah, there's a lot of cards, a lot of hands there against that flop that could look pretty bad against those aces.
And no help for Carrie. And I think that's going to knock her out here.
Yes, I believe Corey has her covered, and that takes Carrie out in 8th place. Our first casher, she wins $90 and has punched her ticket to the Tournament of Champions at the end of the season.
There we go.
Gary's the dealer here on hand number 12. Josh will be first to act and looks down at ace king.
It's always nice to see.
Not a bad thing to look at in the first hand. Julie finally puts her big blind out there.
And Josh is under the gun here. I imagine he's going to make a raise. Can you tell his stack exactly?
Nope.
He is moving in.
It's 9,500 and he shoves it all in.
It's about 3 blinds.
Connor and Corey both fold their face cards in garbage.
Oh, and look at this. Aces again.
String of aces. Jeremy insta-calls with his aces.
Wow, he just made the call there. I'm surprised there was no raise. Maybe he's looking for action behind him to come over the top.
Ish looks down at Queen Jack of Spades. He's in the small blind, he's thinking about this too. 8,000 chips to call.
Yeah, this could get tricky for Jeremy if he lets in Ish and he happens to flop a big hand. It's a gamble with aces to slow play him this way, but you could get a big payoff too.
You know, I've told myself every time I slow play aces, I'm never going to slow play aces again. And sooner or later, I slow play them again, and I say that after that hand, I'm never going to slow play aces again. So it's never worked out for me.
It can be dangerous, but you could get a big payoff. So we'll see how it goes this time.
Ish does finally make the fold.
Does make the fold.
Julie calls. Oh, she's got ace king as well.
Look at
this. All the aces are out. Julie and Josh are in a world of hurt.
And
Ace
I'm
drawing to the straights.
I'm kind of surprised Julie didn't re-raise there with ace king.
She's in bad position being the blind here, so she may not have wanted to overcommit after the flop. Look at that. Jeremy's 94% to win this hand.
Ooh.
Ten, 9 rainbow on the flop. Jeremy is got this all but locked up.
Julie's first act here, and she goes all in. And that's a little surprising with someone on the side there all in.
And Jeremy makes the call. And Josh looks down, and they don't have a prayer. Jeremy's definitely going to win this hand. The only chance they have is runner, and that's not going to do it. So Jeremy's going to double up here, and Josh is going to be our 7th place finisher.
Yeah, Julie's a little bit unlucky there that he happened to have aces. If neither of those players hit the flop, she could have easily taken it down.
Yeah, this would have been a situation where it could have all easily gotten all in on the flop as well.
For sure.
None of those players are going anywhere. Josh did pick up a bounty during the tournament, so he cashes out $125 for 7th place. Next hand we go. Jeremy looks down at King 5. Gary at 6-5. Both of those hands into the muck.
5-7 for Ish.
Julie looks down at Ace King again.
Did she keep those from the last hand?
You gotta wonder. Some cheating going on. She doesn't limp this time. Makes the raise to 15,000. That's a big raise. Blinds are at 2-4, so at least it's almost 4x.
Almost a 4x raise. That's unusual.
Connor looks down at Ace Queen. This hand could get him in big trouble.
It's unlucky for Connor. I don't see him getting away from this hand.
He's relatively short stacked, so I'm guessing he's going to shove it all in. May not even have enough to make the 15,000 chip call.
Connor is the son of Bob Williamson, who's also a very accomplished player in MDPS.
Well, he does have it covered. He goes all in for 21,000. Makes the pot 42,000 chips.
Yeah, I don't blame him here. I mean, it's about one of the best hands you're going to see.
Yeah, I think that's certainly reasonable. He's just running into bad luck here.
Yep.
Corey looks down at 4-6, and into the muck that goes. I'm sure Julie's going to call here for the extra 6,000 in chips. And she does. Look at her 48,000 chip pot here. Ace King versus Ace Queen. Connor is in a world of hurt.
Yeah, Connor grew up learning poker from his dad, but he credits most of his strategy and honing his game. He credits that to his uncle, who also plays on the tour.
He's only 28% to win this hand, but that quickly drops as the rest of the cards come, and he does not catch his queen, which was pretty much the only card he could catch, and goes out in 6th place with 2 bounties for $170.
Not a bad payoff for his first event here.
Hand number 17 now at the final table. Jeremy's the button. Julie will be first to act. Yeah, we're down to 5-handed now. You got to figure that this is going to open up the range of playable hands for these players that are left.
He's going to open wide enough for Corey to play Jack 5 suited. Looks like it is.
Motown.
Well, he's got that menacing beard there. Ever since he's got that beard, I'm kind of afraid to play him.
You know, I have heard that ZZ Top's looking for a new bass player. Too soon? Jeremy looking down at Jack 8 now. Also suited.
And he's on the... Is he one off the button?
Yeah, he is the small blind.
Oh, small blind. Okay. He makes a call. Gets a little
raises,
discount.
No, he raises the 10,000.
Oh. Oh, it's blind on blind here. Okay.
Gary looks down at 7-8 of clubs and folds that. Oh, I'm sorry. He was the button, not the big blind. Ish is still in. Ish is all in the big blind for 2,500 chips, so he's all in for less.
Okay, less than a blind there.
Yep, that was an isolation move by Jeremy.
Right. Well, you can't be too bad about having ace-6 in the blind there.
Nope, it's definitely a reasonable shot to double up here, and more so, actually, be at least a triple up. He's slightly favored to win this. To the flop we go, and we pick up a jack.
Oh, look at that.
Yep, right off the bat.
Jeremy spikes a jack.
Looking for an ace. No ace coming for an Ish, and Ish is going to go out in 5th place.
It's bad luck for Ish. Really solid player.
Picks up a bounty during the way as well for a $190 payday. Still at 2,000 and 4,000 blinds. Down to 4 players now, and hand selection are going to get even wider. I'll take this chance to give a shout out to DT Holder and the Josh Farler Foundation out in California. He was the one that put together the software that I use to generate these graphics for the cards and pot sizes and such, and he's been working with me to customize it a little bit more for our needs as well, so I want to give a shout out to them out west. They have a very similar series that they play in as well, so if you happen to look up Josh Farler Foundation online, learn all about them. Julie looked down at King Queen offsuit. Raises to 10,000 chips.
That's a little more of a reasonable raise.
2.5x. Corey's in the big blind. He's already got money in the pot. Ace 8 makes the call.
He could even 3-bet here, but elects to call. See a flop.
2-3 jack, couple of clubs. Nobody really hit anything on that pot.
Pretty dry flop.
Yeah, Julie bets out 6,000 chips.
Unlikely Corey got any of that, unless he did have a jack. He's going to make the call.
Makes the call with ace high.
I think that's a reasonable call heads up. She could be betting there with a large range. Ace could be ahead.
Not anymore. She picks up a queen.
Oh, she did spike the queen.
Yeah, both of them check. 6 on the river gives Julie the best hand. She's going to bet out now 10,000 chips. Corey's got simply ace high. Nothing came in for him, so I can't imagine he's going to make this call.
Yeah, it would be a tough call with her leading out on the flop and the river. I'm a little surprised by her check there.
He would have to know something in order for him to call with ace high here, I think.
Yeah, he'd have to put her on a stone cold bluff.
He is really thinking about it. And they go into the book.
Corey lost about the minimum there. He could have.
Julie stacks up her chips. We're going to go to the next hand. This is hand number 20 of the final table. Julie is the button. Corey and Jeremy on the blinds. Gary will be first to act.
And Gary's down to about 2 blinds again here.
Looks down at Jack 10 offsuit and shoves it in for 7,000 chips.
Yeah, it's either that or he would have been on the big blind next hand.
Yep. Julie looks down at pocket 9s. She goes all in over top. Certain isolation.
Well, Julie has had her share of cards at this final table.
Without a doubt, if I had a run of cards like that, I'd be there too. Jeremy and Corey both fold, and everybody shows their cards, and Gary's in a coin flip situation.
Yeah, he's been on life support here for a while. It's tough when you get short on blinds. Oh, but he does spike a jack.
Takes a jack up on the turn to win this 23,000 chip pot, and he stays alive.
Staying alive, Gary. Gary is one of those guys that can survive a long time on a short stack.
Well, it certainly helps when you hit your cards on the turn.
Yeah, that does help.
Julie looks down at ace jack now.
Oh,
diamonds.
The card streak continues. Boy, she's got chips everywhere. She's having a hard time managing all those chips, looks like.
Well, the rest of the players are all in seats 1, 2, and 3, so she just scooted down from being at the far end of the table now.
Right on.
Corey looks down at Dolly Parton, 9-5, and folds it. Jeremy does the card shuffle and looks down at Queen Deuce of spades.
Hates to fold it, but he does.
Gary gonna get involved here. Pocket 5s.
That's going to be tough to get away on a short stack.
He goes all in.
Called Gary Mr. Flip here.
Yep, 2 hands in a row. He's in a coin flip situation. For all his chips, Julie makes the call for 11,000 more. 49,000 chip pot. We're going to see a flop. Now Gary is hoping that Julie does not hit her hand.
Right. Gary's had both sides of the coin flip now. Let's see if he can do it again.
Does not want to see a jack on the turn here.
So Gary...
3 in the window is looking pretty good.
Gary in danger again here, but he's held up so far.
3, 3, 10. A couple of hearts. Another 3.
Oh, a 3 would be ugly.
Yes,
Ace 3.
Yes, it would. A 10 would result in a chop. And it is a king. So that doesn't help anybody, and Gary doubles up again.
Look at this guy.
With his full house. 3's full of 5s. Well, now blinds are up to 5,000, 10,000 now. Poker's getting expensive.
Gary checking the clock, looks like. Or maybe the prize money.
And we're winding down here. We've still got 4 players, but the blinds are getting up here. And these pocket fives seem to be running pretty good here. Jeremy looked down at him now.
And has he made an action yet?
He's thinking what to do here. Finally goes all in. Gary calls all in with ace 10 for 16,000. Gary at risk right now.
What do you think of pocket fives, Terry? You like that hand?
No, I've been told it's my favorite hand. Corey looks down at ace 6 diamonds, folds that. So we're going to see another flop. Gary and Jeremy. Gary's all in, and another coin flip for Gary.
Oh, it's
ace on the turn.
Look at this guy.
He's magic on the turn.
Boy, I think that is 4 flips in a row that Gary has won.
You know, they say you can't win a tournament without winning some coin flips.
Oh, absolutely. And all the plays he's made have been, decent, good plays.
He's right. He's been on the right end of all of his coin flips.
Right. That always helps.
So now he looks down at Jack Queen, all in again. 24,000 chips. Julie quickly folds.
Yeah, he's still hovering around the 2 blind mark. Blinds are up, big blinds 15,000 right now.
Jeremy looks down at King 10 now.
Oh, and Gary could be in trouble here. He's about 3-2 dog, something like that.
Jeremy's in the big blind already, so you got to figure he's probably not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy call.
He does. It's not even a full blind raise, so he makes the call. Yep, 3-2. It's actually 2-1, almost 2-1.
Yeah.
Gary spikes
a
jack.
Gosh, look at this
in the window again.
This guy's on fire, man. Look at Gary cleaning up. And
doubles up again.
You got to wonder for Jeremy. He must be thinking, is this guy ever going to miss?
Lots of double ups for Gary. Here are hand 46 now, the final table. We're at 7,515,000 blinds. Gary looks down at King Jack, offsuit.
Yeah, I think he's got to open here, four-handed. Again, he's checking the situation.
He's got a decent stack here now, so he raises the 30,000, the min raise.
I don't know if he's got a decent stack. I think that raise is over half his stack.
Well, I'm sure it is, but he's at least got a stack that he doesn't have to just insta-shove with.
I don't know, man. I think I would have shoved there.
Well, Corey does with ace-queen.
Oh, maybe good he didn't shove. I don't see how he could get away, though. He's got more than half his stack in there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's got to make this call here. But he's got to get through Jeremy first, and Jeremy's counting out chips.
Corey's got to be feeling pretty good about his hand.
Gary's counted out his chips. He's got the call chips in his hand. He's got a couple of blues in that stack.
Yeah, the blues are 10,000, right? So maybe he does have what looks like maybe 25,000 back.
Yeah, they're the blues are 5,000. Yep, so he's got a few. Thinned out some of the pinks and brought some more blues into the table.
So action's on Jeremy here. He's checking his whole card.
Ace-3.
And I think that's a pretty easy fold after Gary's raised and Corey has gone all in. He has to figure one of those guys might have an ace.
He decides to go all in with it.
Whoa, that's optimistic, I think.
That's a hefty bet, and we've got a 90,000 chip plus pot.
Boy, now Gary's got a decision because he's raised, seeing Corey go all in and Jerry make the call, the cold call behind him. Yeah. He's got to be thinking these guys have some pretty premium hands, and he does fold it.
He does make the fold.
Wow.
We've got 90,000 chips in the pot. That's almost half the chips in play.
That was tough for Gary to get away from.
And Jeremy sees that he's in bad shape here, and he spikes a 3 in the window.
Wow. And Corey must be devastated here. He's in a perfect situation for all his chips, and the 3 just wrecked it.
Yep. looking for that queen, doesn't come. Jeremy takes out Corey with a pair of threes. Corey goes out in fourth place, picked up 4 bounties along the way for $315.
Wow, that could have gone way different if Jeremy folded his hand. Gary probably would have called and won the pot with his jack.
So Gary looks down at pocket sixes now and goes all in for the $42,000 he had left.
And again, that's only about 2 blinds. So it's going to be hard for...
Yeah, this is the stage of the tournament where the blinds are really high compared to the chip stacks. So there's going to be a lot of all-in action here. We're down to 3-handed, and this the tournament's wrapping up. So definitely at that shove or fold moment.
And I think Jeremy here has to call with almost any hand, and he's got the queen 7, reasonable call.
Yeah, he's already in the big blind, so it's not much more to call really. He just took down that 90,000 chip pot.
He's got a feel due to win against Gary. He's won a few flips against him already.
I think Gary's playing with a 2-headed coin. Jeremy does make the call. We have a 95,000 chip pot. We've got a coin flip again. Gary a slight favorite. A couple of face cards, but neither one of them are a queen.
Wow, dodges all the bullets, and Gary wins the, I think that's his 5th or 6th flip in a row. This is amazing.
Doubles up again. Blinds are now 10,000 and 20,000. This is definitely win or go home time. And Gary's looking down at ace-8 of clubs.
And I think that's an easy shove for Gary here. He's got about 3 blinds, I believe.
Those are blues he's got back there. He's got more than that. He goes all in for 90.
Yeah, you're at
90K just about.
It's about 4.5 blinds.
Julie folds. Jeremy looks down at 6-7 of hearts.
That'd be a tough call for him.
No, he's already in the big blind, so he makes the call.
Okay.
138,000 chip pot. That's for more than half the chips in play, and Gary's a 60-40 favorite.
And he does hit the ace.
Hits the ace, and
his streak continues.
Wow.
And Jeremy's got to be befuddled here. He can't win a hand off of Gary.
Nobody can win a hand off of Gary, or Gary'd already been out.
He is the master of survival.
How's your NFL survival pool going, Gary?
You're right.
Julie looks down at a couple of cards, folds them. Jeremy looks down at Big Lick, 6-9 suited.
And he shoves with it.
33,000 chips. I mean, it's
just under 2 blinds, right?
Gary makes the call from the big blind with for half a blind. So that's a no-brainer call there.
It's the ugly versus the ugly here.
But Gary is in the lead again. Jeremy has 2 live cards, so it's another flip.
Gary's slight favorite.
And Gary picks up a queen in the window again.
I don't think he does ever miss. 2 queens. How about that?
Yeah, rub it in at the end because Jeremy actually caught a 6 too.
Wow.
So they each got some of it, but Gary got the bigger part. Jeremy goes out in 3rd.
I feel for Jeremy, man. It's just one of those nights you just couldn't win a flip.
Nope. Well, here we go. We're going down. This is the final hand. They did make a chop deal. So both players are all in. The winner of this hand is going to win the tournament. Julie looks down at pocket 5s. Those 5s have been running.
Hey, how about another coin flip to end it?
Gary's got queen 10, 2 live cards, and another flip. How is this going to work out? 260,000 chips in the pot.
It's almost dead even as we go to the flop.
Here we go with another coin flip for Gary. There's a queen in the window again.
Oh my gosh. Look at this guy.
He just does not miss.
That is amazing. Terry, he was down to barely over 1 blind. And he has come back to win it all.
Yes, he has. So here we go. Gary wins the tournament in amazing fashion, recording all kinds of coin flip victories. For Joel, I'm Terry. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.